Alright, pals. It's haul time. I was not expecting to have a haul this soon after my last one, but I have been blessed by the vintage gods. I have a very beautiful collection, a very just kind of grandma K, natural K, Maury girl, maybe even cult party K style clothing to show you guys, so let's hop in. The first item I got, I found in the good old Halloween section. I'm not sure what this was doing there, but I love it. It unfortunately doesn't have any tags left in it, so I don't know what era it's from, but I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it's from the 80s. But it's another just very gauzy, very sheer chiffon little overcoat robe thing. It has these glorious puff sleeves that I am in love with, and this like lace collar. I'm not a big fan of the buttons that are on it, but I think I'm going to alter this and make it into something a little bit different. It has kind of some stains on one of the sleeves, but they're not super noticeable, especially when it's on. So I'm very, very happy with this purchase. It's the perfect pastel pink. I don't know if the color is really accurately coming up on camera, but it is just a beautiful, soft cotton candy pink. And it's just the most wonderful nylon chiffon. I love it very, very much. This was only about $5 from the Halloween section. So again, if you still have a Halloween section in your local thrift store, please go check it out. The next few items I got off of Depop. This is another little like old-timey nightgowny thing. This is one of those little over cardigans, over sleepwear type things. It's a very silky, sort of satiny material. Again, I would imagine that this is 80s. It doesn't have a tag anymore, but I feel like it's definitely 80s-ish area. It's got some lace on the sleeves. It's got some lace in the front. It's got this little tie here. It's a little bit plain, so I might do some alterations to it, but I also just kind of want to use it for layering, so I'm not really sure what it would need. So I'm just gonna kind of experiment with it as is for a little bit first, and then if I decide I don't like it, then I will figure out a way to make it look more interesting. The next piece is one of the things that I was most excited to find, and this is this adorable blouse. I found this on Depop for $5. I could not leave it. It has this cute eyelet lace on the sleeves and on the collar, so it's not a blouse yet, it's a bed jacket, but I'm going to turn it into a blouse by just taking off these little lace-up bits in the front, and I'm going to put a row of buttons down the front so that it just buttons up like a regular blouse. And then I want to use this for layering as well. It has this beautiful like purple floral color. This is also from the 80s. It's from I thought it was Lady of Sarlsberg, but it looks like Lambs of Sarlsberg. Maybe I'll have to look up what brand this is. I don't think it's a thing anymore. I think it must have died in the 80s, but I just really love the print on this. I'm normally not much of a print person, but it was just so cute, and I need more purple in my wardrobe desperately, so I picked it up. This is my last Depop piece, and it's another vintage nightgown thing. It's another bed coat. It's much longer. I think I might turn this into a proper dress, but I might have to take it in a little bit. It also has these adorable puff sleeves and this eyelet lace, and again, I'm not a big fan of the button that's on it, but if I'm gonna alter the front of it, then that's gonna come off anyway, so that's not really a concern. The only thing that worries me maybe is that it is a very, very, like, despite the fact that it's cotton, it's a very sheer cotton, so I might have to add another layer on the inside, but I didn't get a good look at this. The tag is very, very faded, but it looks like this is from the 60s or the 70s. It's got a union tag on it as opposed to an actual brand tag. So probably maybe 60s. It's just very cute, and it's one of those things that just has a ton of potential, and I'm excited to see what maybe I can make out of this. And then the last item I have is the most expensive, even though it was only $10, and it's also the least like my style, although I instantly fell in love with it and could not bring myself to not buy it, so here it is. It kind of looks brown from a distance, but it's like this really cool toned maroon color, and it's got more eyelet lace on the bottom, and it's got this little like bib collar type thing with more eyelet lace. And again, I am not a big fan of the buttons on it, but they're pretty standard size buttons. I probably have something in my button stash that will look good. I'll probably replace it with something, maybe some like pearly buttons or something like that. And then it has more eyelet on the sleeves. It's this really interesting like floral. I think all of the other stuff that I got was true genuine vintage. This I don't think is true genuine vintage. I think maybe this was made in the 90s, just based on like the fabric quality. It feels like something that my mom would have gotten in Joann's in the late 90s, early 2000s, just in terms of the weight. This is probably a quilting cotton. I think this was originally made to be somebody's stage costume in some sort of like potentially maybe Anne of Green Gables stage production. I think that's what this was initially. This is a handmade piece, and I'm not disappointed by that at all. It's actually really well made for being a handmade piece. The person who made this probably actually knew what they were doing, which is not something that I see in a lot of local handmade. Again, I found this in the Halloween section, and boy, is it a gem. It probably was intended to be a costume originally, but I'm going to wear it not as a costume. I'm probably gonna have like an old school natural K look with this, or maybe even like a Mori girl look. I just think that it's really cool to have, you know, maybe an OP in a style that maybe isn't the style you normally wear. And since it is a one piece, I don't really have to worry about coordinating it as much, because I just throw on some tights and a pair of Mary Janes and it's good. It's already an outfit in and of itself, so I don't have to worry about the fact that it's not really my style, because I have tights and shoes that'll go with it. It'll be fine. I'm just very excited about this piece, if you can't tell. And that is my haul for the day. I am really overjoyed by how many amazing vintage pieces I managed to find in such a short period of time. I normally don't get this lucky, but I was a lucky girl this time. That is all for today. I will see you all next time. Bye!